Choice of path. 4 people died on the same night. Their names were Jim, Ron, Mike, and Dave. Soon they found themselves walking along a wide paved road. They continued together until they reached a fork in the path. 2 roads stretched before them, one to the left and one to the right. They stopped, uncertain. Then a man dressed in white appeared before them. "Welcome, friends," he said. "Before you lies the road to your new home. One path leads to paradise, a place of unimaginable beauty. The other leads to hell, filled with horror, despair, and hopelessness. But you are not supposed to know which path leads where. You may choose whichever road you wish, but know this: until you reach the gates of heaven or hell, you can always turn back. If you arrive at hell, you will stay there. But do not be afraid. Each of you will receive exactly what you deserve." And with that, the man disappeared. The travelers were astonished. Hadn't they always been told that the road to heaven or hell was determined by their choices in life? Something about this seemed wrong. But there was nothing they could do. So they decided to draw lots to see who would go first. Jim was the first to choose. He immediately turned right. Right must be the right way, he thought. He walked briskly at first, but soon he stopped in fear. A deafening roar of wild beasts echoed through the air. The sky darkened as thick clouds swallowed the sun. The ground beneath him trembled. Jim panicked. This must be the wrong path. Terrified, he turned back. When he returned to the fork, he told the others what he had seen, his voice filled with fear. He quickly turned left, but as he walked, the signs became even more ominous. The roars grew louder. The storm raged stronger. The earth shook violently. Paralyzed by fear, he ran back to the fork once more. The 4 travelers stood frozen in terror. Neither path looked like the way to paradise. Then Ron stepped forward. "I've made my decision," he declared. "I'm taking the right path, and no matter what happens, I won't turn back." With unwavering determination, he walked forward. The wild beast roared. The skies raged. The ground trembled beneath him. But he kept going. Then suddenly, the storm cleared. Before him lay a land of breathtaking beauty, filled with peace and tranquility. This must be heaven, he thought, and so he stayed. Meanwhile, back at the fork, Dave made up his mind. He had no idea what had happened to Ron. Had he made it to paradise, or had he been devoured by the beasts? Dave hesitated, then thought to himself, "Whatever awaits me at the end of the path, I will accept it and adapt." And with that, he took the left road. The journey was terrifying, but the roars, the storm, the tremors, all just as Jim had described. But Dave kept walking. At last, he reached a sign stuck into the ground. It read, "Hell." At that moment, the road behind him vanished. There was no way back. Before him stretched a bleak, desolate land. The people there lived in fear, hiding in broken-down shacks and trembling at the thought of wild beasts, bandit attacks, or sinking into the endless swamps. Dave spoke to the locals and learned something shocking. Even the devil himself had cursed this land. Dave took a deep breath. "I made a promise to myself. No matter where I end up, I will adapt. I will not be ruled by fear. I will not believe in this so-called curse. If I am at peace within, why should there be hell outside?" With newfound confidence, Dave urged the people to stand up. "We don't have to live like this. Let's change our world." Some listened. Most were too afraid. But with those who believed, Dave got to work. They drained the swamps. They built homes filled with warmth and light, and they planted gardens. They defended themselves against the bandits. They tamed the wild beasts. And little by little, hell began to change. The doubters saw the transformation and joined in. Before long, the land blossomed. The town thrived. Peace and beauty filled the air. One day, Dave walked up to the old sign that read Hell. He took it down. In its place, he planted a new one, Heaven. At that moment, a new fork appeared before him, and standing there waiting was the man in white. "Do you know what you must do now?" the man asked. Dave thought for a moment. "I suppose I must choose a road again." "That's right," the man nodded. Before taking another step, Dave asked, "What happened to my traveling companions?" The man smiled. "Ron arrived in paradise just as you have created here. But he regrets not having a role in its creation. He wishes he had contributed to its prosperity. When his desire becomes strong enough, he will be given the chance to choose again. Most likely he will be offered the opportunity to turn hell into heaven just as you did. And what about Jim and Mike? The man sighed. They are still standing at the fork, paralyzed by fear, unable to move forward. Dave took a deep breath. And what lies ahead for me? The man's expression remained calm. The unknown, he said. Dave felt both fear and excitement rise within him. He nodded, and without hesitation, he stepped onto the road to the right.